All right.
Can you take us through the go pattern to Marquez?
Are you talking about the one that down the middle of the field? Yeah. So that was it was a kind of a skinny post route that wasn't really a big alert in my read, but the way that their safeties were playing in their cover four, I knew that they were going to drive Juju, who was the primary on the other side. And so once I saw McCole kind of clear out the middle and he was one-on-one, I just put it out there. And it's funny, I've told him, I was like, I miss you in Indy, so I've thrown these two kind of short, but I'm going to get them to where I can get some touchdowns out of these and put them out there a little bit even further.
He said you guys had a conversation, and maybe it was the first quarter, second quarter, just about the fact that he thought that route might be open later in the game.
Yeah. So how they were playing, I mean, I think you saw it on the first pick. Their safeties were driving down. They have aggressive safeties. They're really good, but they were kind of trying to use their pass rush to drive down and make plays. That's what happened on the interception. And so once early in the game I saw that, we talked about it on the sideline. Right before we went on the sideline, I said, hey, it was the play I ended up hitting Travis on, the little out route he had ran early in the second quarter. I was like, hey, if they in that cover four shell again, if that safety drives, just make sure you kind of keep it that down the field. And so that's stuff that you build throughout a season, and I think we're going to continue to get better and better at that.
Hey, Patrick, I'll ask you. Juju's talked about Friday. He said you guys gained a lot of chemistry playing Call of Duty and Warzone. I guess won 3 straight. Can you describe it from your perspective?
Yeah, I don't play all the time, but some of those guys play, and so when I had a kind of a free night on Friday, and so I told him, I was like, I'll get on with y'all for a little while, and so it was me, Travis, Marquez, and Juju, and Marquez and Juju are really good. Me and Travis are just all right, but we did our part, and we went 3 for 3 with 3 wins in Warzone, which I don't do often, which they might, but I don't, so I felt pretty good about it going into the game.
He says you guys have developed some chemistry. Did it feel like it playing that?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. When you get away from the facility, you're doing, it's kid-like things, and you're on the headset, and you're kind of talking and joking around and talking about the week. It kind of gets your mind off of just football, and it's about building those relationships. And so it's definitely cool to kind of see these guys, even if it's on the game, outside of the facility.
Yeah, hey, Pat, he just said that the trust, building the trust ever since Dallas, and that was kind of part of the evolution process where it kind of clicked in the Call of Duty. And he said that you were able to trust all of the receiver. How do you kind of felt like that evolution has happened, trusting those guys, to having a performance like you did today?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting better and better. I think we can continue to get better. As I look at this season, I think we're going to continue to get better and better as the season goes on. We'll learn from our mistakes, and we'll go out there and improve and be even better when the season gets to the end of it. And so to go out against a defense like this and show that we can still be explosive and have those big plays, I think that will bode well for us as the season goes on, because people don't know where it's going to come from.
Patrick, you start the game with a pick, and you're down 10-0 against a pretty good defense on the road, a loud building. Does any of that take you out of your comfort zone at any point? I mean, were you anywhere close to that today?
Not necessarily. I mean, I knew we needed to, after the pick, we needed to go down there and get points on that next drive. You don't want them to get too far ahead because how efficient and good their run game is. And so we were able to move the ball down the field that next drive and get it into the end zone on McColl's first jet sweep thing. And so we knew that we needed to get points on the board. But, I mean, like I said, I saw early that their safeties were playing a little closer than teams usually play us. So I knew we'd have opportunities. It was just going to take us protecting, which our O-line did a terrific job of against a great D-line, and guys winning downfield, which they did.
So how is it that you don't get out of your comfort zone in those kinds of situations? Just haven't done it so many times before?
Yeah, I mean, it's having done it, and then there's so much time left in the game. I'm going to compete to the final whistle until Coach takes me off that football field. And so whenever you get down in these games, all you can do is how can you affect and go out there and have a positive next play? And then you kind of continue to do that the next play. And EB preaches that is the most important play is the next play. And so we just go out there and just execute that play, continue to make the drives happen, and then once you get in the end zone and it gets a little bit closer, then you can kind of keep that same mentality going.
I know you don't care where the ball's going as long as it's going to an open guy, but everybody got involved today. Big games for a lot of guys. What's that like for you when it's working, whether you get the ball to Hardman or Juju or MVS or Kelsey?
Yeah, I mean, we have guys everywhere on this offense. I mean, the receivers obviously had a big day today. The tight ends have had big days. Running backs have had big days. That's just going to be who we are as an offense. It's going to be everybody. And so I think as long as it all starts up front and the offensive line plays like they did today, we'll have a good day as an offense. We have a lot of playmakers on this team.
Patrick, everybody knows Over here, Patrick.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing, man? Everybody knows that McCall is fast, but why do the jet sweeps work so well? And is there something that you guys recognized or saw from the 49ers defense that allowed that play to maybe flourish more than usual?
Yeah, I mean, well, first off, jet sweeps work better when you run the ball well, and I thought we ran it in spots really well, run it downhill. And then when you get other guys like Travis and stuff going through the middle, sometimes they lose sight of that jet sweep guy. And I think what makes McCole so good at it is obviously he's super fast, but he runs really hard. And a lot of times when you get smaller receivers and you get them on those jet sweeps, they want to get outside and kind of get to the sideline and kind of get yards and go out of bounds. If you notice with McCole, that man puts his foot in the ground and gets upfield and trusts his blockers. And you don't see that out of a lot of guys in this league, and it's a special talent that he has.
Patrick, there was so much talk about how the 49ers were looking at this as a rematch of the Super Bowl, and of course, you guys just really took care of business today. How much did this game mean to you guys? I mean, of course, every opponent I know is important, but was there anything at all in regards to playing the Niners again? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it's whenever you play against the best teams in the league, you want to go out there and show what you're all about. And I believe the 49ers are one of the best teams in the league, and obviously one of the best defenses. And so for us, coming off a loss against the Bills, you don't want to go out, have 2 losses going into the bye week. And so we knew this was an extremely important game. And I thought the guys accepted the challenge, especially how we started, and responded and went out there and found a way to get that win. And that bye week's a lot better when you're coming off a win.
Hey, Patrick, National Tight Ends Day. I know Travis was like just 2 yards shy of 100 yards. I didn't know if you were aware of that near the end. I know you were trying to get the ball to him, but just, I didn't know if you guys were trying to get that happen.
I didn't know. I wish I would have, 'cause I would have stayed in and try to get him those yards. But I mean, that's not who he is. I mean, if you know Travis, he just wants to win. He's a competitor. He doesn't care who gets the shine. But if we ever have those opportunities, I think you see this team, we want to make sure we give him that credit and we give him those chances to make those historic record type of games. And he's done them so well, and he puts in the time and the work. So let him go out there and try to get a couple more catches there at the end.
And then just going into the bye week, how do you assess where you guys are right now at this break?
Yeah, I mean, we had a tough schedule going into the bye. We knew that going into the season. Obviously, we lost a couple games that we wanted to win. But when you look back on it, you're 5-2 and you're first in the AFC West. You can't ask to be in a better position. So now we have to kind of recalibrate, get off our feet, get our bodies back, and then learn. Because when we come back to this next stretch, we're going to be ready to go and try to make a push to get to the playoffs and then try to get to the Super Bowl.